So per request, I'm doing a video on training variations and different goals. First thing I'll go over is hypertrophy. Hypertrophy work is basically muscle building and bodybuilding. A lot of people get into obviously trying to grow first because everybody likes to be big. First thing, reps and sets. So reps and sets I believe should be basically between 3 to 4 variations per muscle group. If it's chest, we're talking about bench press, dumbbells, incline, decline, you got flies, any kind of motion that you can stretch the chest. The reps should be between 12 and 15 reps. And anything over that I think becomes pretty anaerobic. It's more so for conditioning, and it breaks down the muscle a little bit too much for any actual growth. Your rest period should be between 60 and 120 seconds in my opinion, because you're not chasing any kind of weight goal. Your muscles actually don't count any kind of weights. What they really do is they feel a contraction and they fill up, when you're doing hypertrophy work. Even when you're going for strength, your muscles don't actually count weight. There is no counter in your muscle groups. My body does not understand. It's more of a genetics basis on what you can push for strength. And especially when you're pushing that kind of volume, you're really not going to be too good at pushing for strength. We go into strength blocks, which is my passion, obviously. And I'm chasing an 800-pound deadlift this year, and it's a long time coming for me. But I keep the sets pretty similar, but I keep my volume way lower. Compound movements and higher volume, I believe, really break down the body. When you're a beginner, they do help with your frequency. Is really good for your biomechanics, and your motor functions become so much better with it. You really don't know who you are in the gym. You don't understand how your body moves. Some people got long femurs, some people got long torsos, some people got the opposites of each. You may have a wide rib cage, short arms, or you might have really long arms and narrow rib cage. So that's a big variable, and then for the reps, like I said, I keep about anywhere from 1 to 3 reps, but you can get in the 5 range and still be considered strength training as long as you're doing what you call progressive overload. And then you got what Instagram calls power builders, which that's pretty much, to my knowledge, the only way I know of what they are. And power builders are people that basically try to move some weight but also try to grow. I'd say the rep range is between maybe 5 to 10, and they're still trying to move weight, maybe even break form a little to do so, because what's that guy's name from California? Everybody knows him. The California Kid does it, So I just kind of wanted to touch on this. I got roughly 20 years in the gym, but there's a lot of people out there that have maybe 1 year, 5 years, and still really don't understand what they're doing. And for backpedaling a little here, I think a lot of you should think about how frequently you're pushing your weights. Progressive overload is the idea to become stronger, bigger, faster. But a big problem I see is overtraining. You're not taking enough downtime or taking the weights back down. Your micro damage is something you need to worry about. You may not feel sore, and you may push it, and then you get hurt because you don't realize that you still have microfiber tears in your muscles. And that's something people need to worry about. And genetics are always going to be a factor for everybody. Some people recover better, but end of the day, we all kind of got to treat ourselves the same, and recovery is one of the biggest things. So for powerlifting, for me, I keep my rest periods in between like 3 to 5 minutes for strength. Power builders, they probably do anywhere from like 2 to 4 minutes, because they kind of want to chase the pump and they kind of want to move some weight. But either way, your lactic acids really do take a minute to get out of your muscle fibers, and you really need to think about that. And body composition is another thing people need to think about. So symmetry, like your arms are supposed to be comprised of 2/3 tricep, 1/3 bicep. So if your bicep is half your arm, you need to work on it. I competed as a bodybuilder for a while. That was my training style. So I really actually focused on that for a very long time. So now I have an in-between build of a power lifter and a bodybuilder. But that's the baseline of training variables and different goals, and that's what I have for you today.